Good evening, wherever you're joining us from. My name is Patricia Roxton Hammond, coming to you live from our studios at Kwabenya Point 1. This is NEWSBOARD. Let's take a look at the headlines in Ghana and around the world. Ghana Police Service says it would not shield its men who are found culpable of breaking the law. Dr. Baumia announces digitization of school feeding program. Professor Kwesi Botre has said there is no need for government to fall on IMF to revive the economy. And Russia says it may cut gas supply if oil ban goes ahead. You can also watch us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at NewTVGH. And now to the details. 2 police officers have been accused of being complicit in 4 recent bullion van attacks recorded in the Greater Accra region. This was disclosed in a statement issued by the Ghana Police Service on Monday, January 7, 2022.
The bullion van attacks in question occurred in Kingsway, Batruna, Jamestown, and North Kaneshie industrial area between 2021 and 2022. The police are, however, assuring the general public of their quest to make sure such attacks are curbed and the perpetrators are brought to book. Quote, "The Ghana Police Service, after several months of painstaking intelligence-led operations at the highest level, has made a major breakthrough in the investigations into multiple van robberies recorded in Greater Accra. Preliminary investigations have been able to establish the involvement of 2 policemen and some other suspects. The bullion van attacks in question occurred in Kingsway, Batruna, Jamestown, and North Kaneshie industrial area between 2021 and 2022.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Police Service says it would not shield its men who were found culpable of breaking the law. This comes after 2 police officers were arrested for their alleged involvement in robbery attacks on bullion vans in Accra. According to the police, other suspects were arrested in connection to robbery incidents that have occurred in North Kaneshie, Jamestown, Batruna, and Kingsway.
2 police officers have been accused of being complicit in 4 recent bullion van attacks recorded in the Greater Accra region. This was disclosed in a statement issued by the Ghana Police Service on Monday, March 7, 2022, according to the Director General in charge of Police Public Affairs. Quote, "The police administration will not protect anyone who does wrong in the service. We have got 2 of our own, and investigations are ongoing seriously. At the appropriate time, we will come out clearly with the information. The public should see this as a plan of policing ourselves and dealing with our own in such unfortunate situations. We will ensure that we will carry this spirit and aspiration in terms of protection and better security."
A chief in Tamale, Dakpema Na Bawa Fusaini, and 4 other persons have sustained gunshot wounds after some unknown gunmen attacked the palace in the early hours of yesterday. The chief is said to have been shot in the head and stomach and was rushed to the Tamale Teaching Hospital together with the other victims. The gunmen, numbering about 15, are said to have stormed the palace at about 5 a.m. and shot sporadically, injuring the victims and destroying other properties.
The Northern Regional Police Command has started tracking some 15 persons suspected of raiding and attacking the Dakpema Palace in Tamale on Monday dawn. The incident was said to have taken place after the talking drum was beaten in the palace on Monday dawn, an action that signifies that the Dakpema is the chief of the area. The Northern Regional Crime Officer said the police are treating the incident as a crime. He indicated that a joint police and military team has been tasked to arrest the suspect as soon as possible for further investigations.
At about 0555 hours, the command's attention was drawn to a shooting incident at the Dakpema Palace this morning, and that a group of people on a Toyota pickup, white in color, raided the palace, fired indiscriminately, and then the chief was hurt. As we speak, 5 people sustained gunshot wounds. The chief was hurt himself, and they are currently at the hospital. That's a Tumblr Teaching Hospital, undergoing treatment. Police visited them and then found the chief stable, but responding to treatment. And we have also made some deployment of policemen the chief police, as well as some protection for those that are injured. That's currently what we have for you. I spoke to the chief and he indicated that he was shot at. I also saw injury to his stomach and the head. However, he's doing well. You know, criminals are saying that as soon as they commit the offenses, we need to gather intelligence. We need, as we are picking the pieces. We also, you two will not go and sit down and kind of say that, come and arrest me. By all means, they will go into hiding. And we will also pick some intelligence about some locations which we deem fit. We will keep it to ourselves. The MedSec as well as ResSec visited the various chief palaces and then spoke to them, and they gave the assurance that they will use the proper channel to address their issues which they themselves have. So this one which came, as you are saying, is being investigated.
The Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia, has promised to launch an e-feeding program next week to track daily menu across the country. Addressing students, authorities and participants during the 70th anniversary celebration of Fijai Senior High School in Takoradi in the Western region, the Vice President said that he will launch a digitized school feeding program next month to track the number of students fed, the menu on daily basis to avoid future embezzlement of funds of the program.
The vice president also challenged the critics of the government, saying that the Akufo-Addo-led administration is doing so much in the transformation of the country, and as such, the critics should desist from criticizing the efficacy of the digitization of the school feeding program indiscriminately. Dr. Bawumia claimed that in terms of digitization, Ghana is far ahead of the developed countries, and we need to embrace it and develop it further. Again, the vice president disclosed that drones have been successful, and next week the government will launch new drone centers in Afram Plains. He also said that Ghana is leading the world in the drone systems, and now Ghana is worth emulating by the West.
We are digitizing the school feeding program, and next month, I will launch. We looked at it last week. It's all set. Next month, we will launch a digitized school feeding program. We will know every school in the country, every day. If you feed them rice and beans, we will know. How many students you have fed, we will know. There will be no room for kululu in the school feeding program after we launch this program next month. We are doing so much for the first time, and we need to understand that we are changing this country. We are transforming this country.
The National Association of Graduate Teachers and the Coalition of Concerned Teachers Ghana have called on government to immediately sit with the leadership of the various workers' union to work towards increasing salaries to commensurate with the upsurge of prices of goods and services in the economy.
Speaking at a press conference in Accra, the president of the NAGRAT said the constant increase in the price of fuel has pushed the cost of transportation for both private and commercial upwards, adding that, quote, last year by this time a bag of cement was 40 Ghana cedis, but today a bag of cement is 52 Ghana cedis, 12 Ghana cedis more. The escalation of prices for food items on the local market, he added, was evident for all to see, saying that, quote, the cost of rent and accommodation are on the rise and has become a huge burden to the Ghanaian worker, yet we don't have any comprehensive housing scheme to support the low-income level of workers in this country. He said realities cited had become the summary of realities of the Ghanaian worker, and that the union would have expected that, even without prompting from the leadership of the workers, the government itself would have initiated concrete moves to ease the effect of these economic hardships on the Ghanaian worker. He said there was the need for the government to critically and dispassionately look at its expenditure, adding that, quote, the worker cannot guarantee a peaceful labor environment when his or her salary cannot take him home.
And on to some business stories, former Finance Minister Professor Kwesi Botwe says Ghana's current economic challenges could be overcome if the government is honest with Ghanaians. He made the submission while speaking at the 65th Independence Day lecture held at the Economic Department of the University of Ghana, Legon, on Monday, March 7, 2022. The lecture was on the theme on the state of the nation's economy and politics 65 years after independence, the path of sustainable development and democratic consolidation.
You are in a situation where we can't service the debt and still meet our obligations, including those that are vulnerable. That's where we are. I'm saying that the solution must involve a recognition that we have a problem. Now, the public, I'm saying we must level with the public. If you are telling the public that, hey, things are cool, you've never had it so good, we've done better than everybody did in the past, as if we are in a race to the bottom. If you are saying that, grandstanding and a profusion of hubris, that kind of, sounds as though there's no problem, okay. Then you don't have that political space. It is a matter of recognizing, understanding, and respecting the views of the dissident, if you like, engaging in transparent and respectful conversation, and in the hope that even the opposition have some patriotism, that the issues they are raising are critical issues. That's where the transparency and the thing gets resolved. It must be a recognition.
Professor Kwesi Bocho also added that he does not subscribe to the idea of borrowing money from the international financial agencies, such as the International Monetary Fund, to revive Ghana's economy. He reiterated that borrowed money always comes with strings attached.
The issue really is not whether we go to the International Monetary Fund or not. That is a red herring. A very savory one, perhaps, but still a red herring. We are, yes, a sovereign nation, and a proud one at that, and can decide not to seek IMF program support. The International Monetary Fund, the IMF, with all its power and leverage, can simply not force a program on us or on any country. An important lesson, however, of modern finance, as we all know, something we sort of learn at our mother's knee, so to speak, is that borrowed money comes always with strings attached. There is no such money, there is no such thing as free money with absolutely no conditionality. Except perhaps things like what is doled out by the same International Monetary Fund for emergencies, COVID relief, which we have obtained. And the basic conditionality for any creditor is fiscal discipline. Regardless of whether the money comes from taxpayers, from banks, from international capital markets, or from the financial institutions. Our sovereignty comes with the right to manage or mismanage our economy the way we please. I agree entirely with the principle of national ownership of development policy.
Moving on, Professor Kwesi Boatwell has painted a gloomy image of Ghana's economy, describing it as one that is suffering grave distress. Professor Boatwell wants government to thoroughly review the economy to cut down expenditure and avoid measures that would mortgage Ghana's future.
As we speak, all the signs point to a country in some distress, in some economic distress. The exchange rate at the forex bureaus is nearing 8 cedis to the dollar. Fuel prices at the filling stations have crossed the 8 cedi per liter bar. Inflation is back in double digits, nearing about 15%. The government is struggling to raise money locally and is accumulating arrears to several programs: roads, school feeding, and even LEAP, even salaries. There is ongoing capital flight, and foreign investors have withdrawn close to $200 million in January alone. It is absolutely not the end of the world. Not quite.
The World Bank Country Director for Ghana, Liberia and Sierra Leone, Mr. Pierre Laporte, says it is key that government is transparent with the general public on the current economic situation the country finds itself in. Governments recently expressed its unhappiness with credit rating agencies, especially after Moody's downgraded Ghana's long-term foreign currency sovereign rating to CAA1 from B3.
According to Moody's, it downgraded Ghana's long-term issuer and senior unsecured debt ratings following the woes Ghana is facing in fixing its liquidity and debt challenges. It also, among other things, faulted ineffective revenue generation as a cause, since it hasn't been able to afford the government the opportunity to be flexible with its expenditure. Concerns such as the one raised by Moody's, the current depreciation of the cedi against major trading currencies, ongoing resistance to plans to pass the e-levy in Parliament, among others, has led many to express concern about the state of the country's economy. Commenting on the lecture and the subject of Ghana's economic issues, the World Bank Country Director noted that the country faces a tough road to restore macroeconomic sustainability.
The Second Lady, Samira Baumia, has employed Ghanaians in the diaspora to take advantage of the opportunities of the African Continental Free Trade Area and bring investment to Ghana. According to her, there is the enabling environment for businesses to thrive, hence the call for Ghanaians living in the diaspora to return home to help grow the country.
Data from the central bank indicates that the number of Ghanaians living abroad ranges between 1.5 million and 3 million. Also, remittance from Ghanaians in the diaspora through formal channels have averaged $2 billion per year in recent times. In 2022, for instance, remittance to Ghana shot up by 5% to $3.6 billion despite the impact of COVID-19 on global economies, according to World Bank's 2021 Migration and Development Report. These figures demonstrate the potential of the diaspora as a source of foreign direct investment, which needs to be harnessed.
AFTA will play a vital role in aiding countries establish trade partnerships, thereby facilitating the establishment of businesses across borders on the continent. And I encourage all Ghanaians in the diaspora to take advantage of this to bring investments into the country. I urge all Ghanaians and those in the diaspora to participate in the development efforts of Ghana and the Ghanaian government. Governments cannot do it alone. We need the participation of all our citizens, whether home or abroad. It could be your ideas, your money, your skills, but most importantly, your need to maintain the connection with our mother country, to bring to bear your knowledge and experiences, as well as leverage the opportunities available for national development.
We'll be right back with more news after this break. Welcome back, and on some international news, Nigeria has said it will not allow its nationals to be enlisted to fight in Ukraine, where Russian forces are bombing cities and rattling neighborhoods with gunfire. This follows reports of alleged recruitment of volunteers in the country to fight on the side of Ukraine.
Nigeria's foreign ministry said the Ukrainian embassy had denied any role in the alleged exercise. But the embassy confirmed that a number of Nigerians had approached it, indicating willingness to join the war. According to a ministry statement, the embassy also distanced itself from claims that it was requesting $1,000 from each Nigerian volunteer for an air ticket and visa. Quote, Nigeria discourages the use of mercenaries anywhere in the world and will not tolerate the recruitment in Nigeria of Nigerians as mercenaries to fight in Ukraine or anywhere else in the world, the ministry's spokesperson said. It comes days after Senegal warned against volunteers enlisting to fight against Russians in Ukraine. It also ordered the Ukrainian embassy to take down a Facebook post that had called on Senegalese volunteers to enlist to the war.
Russia has said it may close its main gas pipeline to Germany if the West goes ahead with a ban on Russian oil. Deputy Prime Minister Alexander Novak said a rejection of Russian oil would lead to catastrophic consequences for the global market, causing prices to more than double to $300 a barrel.
The U.S. has been exploring a potential ban with allies as a way of punishing Russia for its invasion of Ukraine. But Germany and the Netherlands rejected the plan on Monday. The EU gets about 40% of its gas and 30% of its oil from Russia and has no easy substitute if supplies are disrupted. In an address on Russian state television, Mr. Novak said it would be impossible to quickly find a replacement for Russian oil on the European market. Pointing to Germany's decision last month to freeze certification of Nord Stream 2, a new gas pipeline connecting the two countries, he added that an oil embargo could prompt retaliation. Russia is the world's top producer of natural gas and second top producer of crude oil, and any move to sanction its energy industry would badly damage its own economy. It also supplies the world with 10% of its nickel needs, mainly for use in stainless steel and electric vehicle batteries.
The World Bank has approved $723 million in loan and grants for Ukraine as the country fights against the Russian invasion. The bank said it is continuing to work on another $3 billion package of support in the coming months for the country. It also promised extra help for neighboring countries that are taking in more than 1.7 million refugees, which are mostly women, children, and the elderly.
The financial package for Ukraine includes $100 million pledge from the UK. Quote, the World Bank Group is taking quick action to support Ukraine and its people in the face of the violence and extreme disruption caused by the Russian invasion, the bank's president David Malpass said in a statement. The bank said the funds would help Ukraine's government provide critical services, including wages for hospital workers, pensions for the elderly, and social programs for the vulnerable. The package includes a $350 million loan, augmented by about $139 million through guarantees from the Netherlands and Sweden.
And on to some sports stories, foreign footballers playing in Russia can suspend their contract and temporarily leave the country. FIFA made the announcement as a result of the ongoing Russian invasion of Ukraine. Russian football clubs and national teams were last week suspended from all competitions until further notice by FIFA and UEFA.
In a statement, the world governing body said foreign players and coaches will have the right to unilaterally suspend their employment contracts with the clubs in question until the end of the season in Russia. Quote, players and coaches will be considered out of the contract until 30th June 2022 and will therefore be at liberty to sign a contract with another club without facing consequences of any kind. The players' union said the measures didn't go far enough. The Russian Football Union said it would go to the Court of Arbitration for Sports to appeal against its ban from international competitions. Russian side Spartak Moscow have been kicked out of the Europa League, and the 2022 Champions League final, originally due to be played in St. Petersburg on 28 May, has been moved to Paris.
Scotland's World Cup playoff semi-final against Ukraine has been postponed. The nations were set to meet at Hamburg on 24th March, but Ukraine requested that FIFA moves the tie back following Russia's invasion of the country. As a result, the playoffs final for the winners against either Wales or Austria will now also be delayed.
Discussions are underway for a new date, with the Nations League window in June the most likely option. The World Cup finals take place from 21st November to 18th December. A large contingent of recent squads selected by Ukraine have contained players from their homeland, with 15 out of the 23-man pool for November's World Cup qualifiers playing in their home leagues. The sides are set to face each other in June on Nations League duty, with each side already scheduled to play 4 games during that break. Speaking last week, Scottish FA president offered his Ukrainian counterpart support as the nations held talks with FIFA over moving this month's tie.
And on to entertainment, Ghanaian musicians Kwame Eugene and Kiddy brought London to a standstill on Sunday, March 6th. The Lynx signees took over the O2 Indigo with an electrifying performance to commemorate Ghana's 65th Independence Day celebration.
The duo entertained the audience at the arena with back-to-back hit songs to which patrons sang and danced along. The sold-out concert also saw guest appearances by Sarkodie, Stonebwoy, and Kwabena. Pataranki and others were also present. This becomes their foremost headline show in the UK, which many enthusiasts predict could be the first of many. Kiddy later expressed his appreciation to all who contributed to making the landmark concert a success.
You are the woman that I need. I'll be the one my best you see. You set my heart on fire.
And that's it for NEWSBOARD. Let's take a look again at our headlines. Ghana Police Service says it would not shield its men who are found culpable of breaking the law. Dr. Baumia announces digitization of school feeding program. Professor Kwesi Botwe has said there is no need for government to fall on IMF to revive the economy. And Russia says it may cut gas supply if oil ban goes ahead. Thanks for watching. My name is Patricia Roxton Hammond. We came to you live from our studios at Kwabena Point 1. Good evening.